Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.
I'm Al Bledsoe, VFW Post 1108.
I'm Ron Chappell, chaplain for the Vietnam Veterans Association here in Richmond, and co-host here with Al on Proudly We Serve. And our guest again is Joe DeVito, and we're going to continue where we left off on our last show, right? And we were talking about the PAC Act. Am I correct, Joe?
That's correct.
All right. So, Joe, if you want to give just a quick brief on what you do overall, general, and then we'll go back to the PAC Act.
Absolutely. So I am Joe DeVito, the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm the Communications and Outreach Director, and outreach is what we're doing right now.
That's
so
right. That's right.
Letting veterans know important things.
That's right.
We were talking about the PAC Act, and it's such an important thing. Veteran benefits is just important enough for us to carry over here and keep going. And in our last episode, we were talking a little bit about the importance of filing. And even for certain veterans who may be at a maximum rate, and well, I've already got all I can get from the VA, so even though there's other things I may be able to file for, what's the need? So there is a need, and it goes on a couple levels. But you know, the PAC Act, we were talking about how it has. What the PAC Act did is expanded presumptive disorders. So there was already a list of presumptive disorders, meaning conditions a veteran may currently have that the VA presumes. You don't have to prove it. It's connected to your service because you served with a certain exposure. It was exposure to Agent Orange for certain Vietnam veterans, burn pits for Iraq and Afghanistan veterans, Camp Lejeune, stationed at Camp Lejeune Marines and families. So, you know, those are those conditions. What the PAC Act did is it expanded those. One of the things was ischemic heart disease has been on the list since Niemer was his name years ago, expanded, and the Niemer law put ischemic heart disease on the list of presumptive disorders for Agent Orange exposure. But there's a lot of veterans who, if you say high blood pressure, was never on that list. But PAC Act put high blood pressure on the list, so it expanded that list. Did the same thing with burn pit exposures and other things for veterans. So what the PAC Act did was it expanded that list. So any veteran who, you know, we always encourage them to go see your county veteran service officer. Right here, it's Ron Whittick here in Wayne County, and they're great everywhere you go. Depending on where you live, some folks are like, well, I live way closer, or I work here. Just because it's a county service officer, you don't have to see the one in your county. It's whatever's convenient. So some folks may work in another county next door to that CVSO office and say, well, I can just go, that's fine. We just want you to go. Check in at least once a year with your service officer. And you know, some of those things to get them as a service-connected disability is multiple things. One, there's financial compensation. So if you get rated from the VA at a service-connected disability, depending on the severity, they'll assign a percentage to it in increments of 10. Those percentage increments come with a financial payment. So you get a tax-free benefit payment monthly. So that's one advantage of it. The other advantage is it's automatic enrollment into VA healthcare. And then all your treatment from VA for that condition is 100% free. And depending on where your percentage is, some veterans have an over 50% service-connected disability rating. That could be for one condition, or that could be a combined rating of multiple conditions. At 50%, that makes you enrollable in VA healthcare in Priority Group 1, which it's all free. Medications and everything doesn't have to be service-connected medical. All your medical is covered. So that's a great advantage right there. The other thing it does is those ratings open you up to state benefits. So we've got property tax abatements, remission of tuition and fees to state universities for the dependent children of service-connected veterans. There's quite a few things out there that opens that up as well.
Yeah.
And then we also have certain widows benefits that are available, or I should say surviving spouse benefits. And that's really the one we'll talk about is called dependency indemnity compensation. And this is one where I say, a veteran, if you have a condition that you think or you know is service-connected, get rated for it. Whether it's a financial gain for you or not, depending on what your situation is, less the matter, more to be service-connected. And the dependency indemnity compensation, or DIC is what they call it, that's a specific benefit for the surviving spouse of a veteran. Because I maybe have a rating of 50% as a service-connected disabled veteran, I pass away. Those benefits do not pass on to my surviving spouse. Those benefits end with the veteran. So there's other opportunities potentially for that spouse. One is what they call is a survivor's pension, which is a low-income program. Then the other one is the dependency indemnity compensation. So for a surviving spouse to be awarded DIC, it's one of three ways. One way is the veteran died during active service, which would be a military member. That's not a veteran situation. The other one is if the veteran was receiving service-connected disability compensation at the rate of 100% for 10 years or longer. So if a veteran's 100% service-connected at 10 years or longer, no matter what their cause of death is, that widow could qualify for the DIC.
For the same amount that he was receiving?
No, it's a different benefit. So it's a completely different benefit. I'm going to completely round figure it to about $1,600 to $1,700 a month, and it comes with Champ VA healthcare.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good benefit for that surviving spouse. But the third way is if, no matter how long the veteran was receiving compensation, if the veteran's cause of death was related to a service-connected disability, or even something that could have been or should have been a service-connected disability, that surviving spouse can also qualify. And that's where that comes in. So if a veteran is...
That's interesting.
Yes. So if a veteran has a heart condition, they're a Vietnam veteran, and they're rated for ischemic heart disease, and that heart condition is a cause of death, that would qualify that spouse for that. Now, we do have instances where that same situation, say that veteran never filed for any VA benefits. Say it's a Vietnam veteran, never filed for any benefits at all, passed away 15 years ago from lung cancer. Lung cancer is on the list. We can show the veteran served in Vietnam. We can show the veteran had lung cancer because it caused the veteran's death. That still would qualify that surviving spouse to apply for that benefit because their veteran should have been or could have been eligible. But the thing is we want to make, when you get into that situation, finding the spouse to know about filing that claim is hard. It's very hard because they're not connected. So if a veteran is connected, once again, say a veteran is 100% service connected for hearing loss. They get that, they have bad hearing loss, it's caused by service, they're getting full compensation for it. Like, well, I don't need to file for anything else. Well, you probably should, because especially if you have a presumptive disorder or something like that, that would be the trigger to help that CVSO know to help that widow file for
Shame on me.
Right. So, it's I've never met any VA employees that I think want to do a veteran wrong. They're all working hard. They're busy. They got a lot going on. But and I think the VA can make some mistakes, and there's a big system there, right? So things can fall through the cracks where veterans don't get stuff they should. That's where advocates come in. That's where your CVSO comes in to help that process along. But really, the VA system, if you file a claim and you get awarded something, you deserve it. It's really hard to trick that system.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know how you could, because it's kind of arduous. And
Yeah.
so it's your benefits. File for them. If you get them, you deserve them.
Well, you answered the question for me, because I was thinking, because I'm already rated 100%, I don't need to file anything else that has happened that may be service related, like my knee, CPOD. Mine was based on cancer. I don't mind revealing that. Somebody out there might need to hear it. So, but if I go back now and file for my knee and the CPOD, which is in my record, because I had been going to Wright Pat, now I'm using the CBOC here in Richmond. So my records should be easily retrievable for them to use that. So if I add that, it's not going to increase my compensation, but it will help to solidify my status, I guess. And then when I pass, should I pass before my wife, it'll make it easier for her to be able to get.
Think of it as just get it on record.
Yeah.
So, you know, any veteran who has service-connected disabilities, whether awarded or not, if you even filed a claim with the VA, you have what's called a code sheet. So that's going to show service-connected conditions and non-service-connected conditions. So I might file for my left knee and my right elbow. They award me 20% on my left knee, and they deny my right elbow. And they say that you do have that problem, but there's no records. We can't connect that to service. My code sheet would say 20% service-connected left knee. Then the next category say non-service-connected right elbow, whatever the issue is, 'cause it's not. But that code sheet is important, because that's your record of what's there. And I'll give you a really ridiculous example, but the federal VA 15 years from now could create a scholarship for the grandchildren of veterans who had COPD, service-connected. Right? Probably not a thing, but an example. So in your condition, in your example, you have COPD, you're at 100%, there's no need to file it, but 15 years from now, a grandchild won't be able to get that claim because it's not on your code sheet. But if you file for it, it's there. So we have that. So that record is there.
Right.
And once again, as far as medical and other things, it's important to file.
Does the grandchild have to file in the state that the veteran lived in, or could they be in another state?
I think that would be dependent in that example. If it's a state benefit, like Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs benefit, or a federal VA benefit.
Okay.
But
Okay, yeah.
you know, it's important to get it on there. It's also important for your health. That's one of the things I think that PAC Act, in helping us get the word out about presumptive disorders, is so important, because there are certain things where you may have you go to the doctor and you're talking about symptoms, and maybe there's 5 symptoms that you would need for that doctor to say, we should look at this condition, right? Well, if you have 3 of them, they're probably not going to look in that direction, right? But if you have, if the condition they're thinking of looking at, you have 3 symptoms, but you have a family history. Now that doctor might say, well, let's look anyway. Let's double check, because you have a family history of that. Your exposure is the same thing. So back to an example where I'm not a doctor, so these are just, examples, but let's say it's type 2 diabetes, and you only have a couple symptoms that maybe wouldn't lead it, but you served in Vietnam. So you have an exposure to something that is now connected to being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes now, or whatever that condition would be. So that's important for you to know, important for your doctor to know. That's why it's important to, if you served really anywhere, because there's certain exposures for veterans who maybe have no service in any of those combat areas or anything, but there is one exposure a lot of veterans have, which is asbestos. So that's another thing. So if you, served in the military, get with your CVSO, look over the PAC Act, check it out on the Google Nets and the VA websites, and go see your CVSO. And if there's even things on there that, that doesn't really bother me, but could be respiratory issues for someone who served in Iraq or Afghanistan. There are things on there, and it's always best to know early, right? So it's kind of use the PAC Act, use presumptive disorders as something to make you think, well, maybe I should get checked out.
Are we able to attract that to the younger veterans, the Iraq guys and people like that?
So I think, the VA is trying a lot of ways.
How are we doing with that end of it? It seems like the younger crowd, it's so difficult to get them involved in the veteran community.
I think it is on the local level for sure.
Yeah.
The VA has an amazing office called the Veteran Experience Office. I've gotten to see their presentations and talk with those folks at plenty of opportunities with NASDVA and other conventions and other VA trainings, and they're doing a great job with technology, with texting, with all the different things. So they're working with with those veterans to let them know exposures, get to see. But there is that local connection that is something we're all looking at doing, because there's a divide a little bit in getting younger veterans connected
And
to
I
their
don't know
community.
why that is, really, because the clubs aren't as active as they used to be. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe part of it's our problem, that we didn't do a good job in marketing the VFW or the American Legion or whoever in the world it is. So, but younger ones, it's just really, you see that more when you have events coming up like Veterans Day. You don't have participation from the younger ones that I feel like we need to have.
Well, see, I've said before, and I'll say it again, that information needs to be provided upon discharge about what's available in your area, what service organization, et cetera, so you'll know. Now, when I got discharged, I had no idea, no clue about the VFW or anything.
And that's an important point for sure. One of the things I'm happy to say, we talked a little bit previous episode about the National Association of State Directors of Veterans Affairs, NASDVA, which my boss and our director, Dennis Weimer, is a member of. They're working really diligently with the DOD to make sure that if we're trying to create the best and easiest systems, even with QR codes and other things, where if somebody is discharging from service, they have the programs they go through now where you sit there for 2 days and you look at the screen and you're like, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out of here. But so we're trying to find ways where, hey, well, I'm thinking I might go to Indiana, Iowa, or Kentucky, or giving them direct links and opportunities, not just to understand what we offer in Indiana, but give us an opportunity to reach back out to them.
Yeah.
The VA has a really good program they're doing for mental health, wellness, and other things where everybody who's discharging now, I believe they get 4 phone calls, personal phone calls, a year, once every quarter from when they get out.
Wow.
Checking in on where they're at. Have they found permanent housing? Have they found a job? Where they at? Different things that they need. Trying to give that one connection to them.
Right.
That's another way we're looking to make sure that they're interacting. So if someone says, yeah, I'm here, we moved to Indiana, that they understand their CVS, so they understand Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs, all the different benefits and opportunities we offer them.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I know one thing. When I am going to apply for when I get out of here today, I'm going to see the guys.
You're too old. It's not going to make any difference now. So what else are you doing other than that information?
No, we're always out there looking to connect with veterans. So one of the things you talked about was with the local posts and other things. So we're just trying to find veterans, and I think that one thing everyone can do is we're looking to find veterans. Veterans are people. They're members of the community, so we're looking to find them where they're at. The veterans who, about half of the eligible veterans for VA benefits are accessing those benefits. So there's the other half, right? Where are they? Why are they not connected to those benefits? How do we find them? And I think that they're the veteran that are just part of their community. They're just doing things.
Right.
They're not connected, whether it's by choice or whatever, with VFW, American Legion, different things. So, I tell everyone, look at your community. Where are the people right? So, and then try to encourage opportunities there.
Yeah.
There may be a community that's got a large Little League baseball. And you know, hey, every Tuesday and Thursday during baseball season, there's 400 people at the park. Maybe get a table out there. Maybe get with Ron. Maybe get a little event sponsorship opportunity. One of the programs we offer to help set up a table there and find those veterans where they're at versus trying to get them to come to you. Maybe we need to go to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being able to package advertisement in something that's culturally relevant to veterans. What I'm saying, and this may be extreme, but maybe an announcement or something about what you're doing packaged around some rap music. I'm serious, some rap music. They hear that draws their attention. It's a young fella at our church. He's doing a program, and it's called Christian Rap Academy.
Right on.
Christian Rap Academy. And he's going around to different places. He sets up a table. He has some hot dogs and all that, and he's got some Christian rap music playing. And you'd be surprised how that's impacting the area and the kids that he draws.
Sure.
And then he can share information with them about the church and that kind of thing. I'm just saying we have to be culturally relevant. If we want to get information out to these young vets, we got to get to where they are. We can't do like we used to do and expect them to.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a great point. I mean, veterans are members of the community. So just because you're a veteran, you still have plenty of other demographics you might fit into, whether it's age, race, religion, and other things. So kind of some of those targeting efforts are great.
Yeah.
You know, and Al, you did ask me what I've been up to. So one thing I do want to mention, timely here, one of the great programs we have, I can now say 2 times awarded, one from the National VA and one from our governor. Just recently, a second state award that we got for great programming is our Military Family Relief Fund. So that's an opportunity we have for low-income veterans who are facing an emergency financial crisis, to apply for up to $2,500 in money directly out to them, whether it's for housing, transportation, any issues that come up. We even have an opportunity for more than $2,500 if that's what's needed. They can go to our commission and look to get an over $2,500 approved. And along with that, we have 2 great programs that our team over at the MFRF came up with in noticing and collecting data and looking over things. And one thing they noticed a couple years ago was a spike in Military Family Relief Fund applications in January and February. So we looked into that a little bit, and what we discovered was in December, a lot of families that meet the income threshold, which is 2 times the poverty limit. So if the poverty limit, for round figures for me and my family, is $40,000 annual income, under that is poverty, over that is up, multiply that by 2, is my household income above or below that, that's qualifying for the Military Family Relief Fund. So an $80,000 household could still qualify, depending on how many dependents and where they were. What we noticed was a lot of folks were foregoing some of those household bills and other things to provide holiday opportunities for kids in the house and other things. So we helped develop what we have now as our third year of our Operation Holiday program. I think November 1, we start our applications and are open through the end of December. And it's an opportunity for veteran households in the state of Indiana. If they meet that income threshold, they can apply and get $200 for a holiday meal and $300 per dependent child in the household.
Wow.
Right out of the Military Family Relief Fund to help offset some of those holiday costs and then keep people on track. Out of that, we bore another program called Back to School, which we just wrapped up, and that usually will go July through August for back to school expenses, because that's another large expense that we saw folks are not expecting. And if you're on a budget, you get hit with a big expense that has a trickle-down effect. So we were trying to help avoid and help compensate for that. So holiday program is starting, in.gov/DVA.
So they can access that on the web.
Yep, they can apply online and everything.
That's a good program to get out there.
It is, man.
Yeah, it gives us a great opportunity, and really, it gives us a wonderful opportunity with what we're doing as well, because we have our standard program, which is all the time, the Military Family Relief Fund. Then we have these 2 specialty programs that have the time limit for holiday and back to school. But when folks apply, you know, even if it's for the full benefit, $2,500, or one of the specialty programs, we're providing a wonderful, soft, non-stick Band-Aid, but it is a Band-Aid, right? So if folks are getting in an opportunity where they need that funding, we can hopefully help them out with that. But there are other things that cause that.
Yeah.
So by getting into the program, you know, we have a lot of connections. So we evaluate those applications, and if there's a veteran or in the household or in the family is underemployed or unemployed, we've got Department of Workforce Development folks, veteran specialists, right in our office. We get them connected right away, so we can look at that opportunity.
Guys, I hate to say this, but we got about
Running
2
out of
minutes
time.
left. You know, you're gonna have you back for part 3, Joe.
Yeah.
He's such full of information, man.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for
Absolutely.
coming.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Really
got to
enjoyed
have
it.
you back here because you got to continue this. I mean, you know.
I'll be happy
There's
to come
just
back.
so much information
Yeah.
to get out there. It's just
Yeah. Good gracious.
incredible.
Whew, man,
Okay, so we'll sign off.
I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching,
Joe,
folks.
thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for watching Proudly We Serve.
Cronin Toyota and Cronin Nissan are honored to partner with Proudly We Served, as well as the continued support of our local active and retired military veterans across eastern Indiana.